All right, so since Saturday has a matinee game, I am doing the preview video tonight rather than in the morning. And we've got 11 games on tomorrow, which seems like a lot until you realize we had 15 today. 15. And tomorrow is going to be, well, it's going to be interesting. And let's just go ahead and explain why I think it'll be interesting with the first game of the night, which is Boston and Montreal. Boston-Montreal is a bad matchup for Boston. That's right. People who watch the history videos know that I said that because every year Montreal knocked Boston out. As a Boston fan, I am well aware that Boston historically doesn't do well against Montreal. I am also well aware that over the last few years, that has changed. I have been very pleasantly surprised, but with each new season, I expect it to sort of change back, because as a Bruins fan, it's kind of what I expect. We play Montreal, Montreal beats us. Boston's 12-6-4, and Montreal's 12-7 or 11-7-5. So with a win in regulation, they'd go to 12-7-5, and Boston would drop to 12-7-4. So, not saying that necessarily happens, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if it did. Scoring-wise, your number one scorer in Boston, Pastrnak, 17 goals, 9 assists for 26 points. Bergeron, who's out, 9 goals and 17 assists. Marchand, 6 goals, 15 assists. Krejci, 2 goals, 15 assists. DeBrusk, 9 goals, 2 assists. Grzelcyk, 1 goal, 8 assists. Krug, 7 assists. And McAvoy, 1 goal, 5 assists. Worthy of note is Marchand's dropped below a point a game. He's been kind of cold lately. And with Bergeron out, that's definitely going to make it worse. The thing for Boston is this. They're still staying afloat despite the fact that they have Bergeron and almost their entire blue line out. So I'm not expecting a whole lot from them tomorrow, but I didn't expect a whole lot from them tonight against Pittsburgh either. So it's been kind of a pleasant surprise so far. On the Montreal side of things, Domi, 11 goals, 15 assists. I believe his point streak was broken tonight. Drouin, 8 goals, 11 assists. Tatar, 9 goals, 9 assists. Petrie, 2 goals, 15 assists. Gallagher, 11 goals, 5 assists. Danault, 1 goal, 13 assists. Shaw, 7 goals, 5 assists to get on the board. And Kotkaniemi, 3 goals and 9 assists. Andrew Shaw's been excellent lately in terms of scoring, which is funny because early on in the year, healthy scratch, looks like maybe he's on his way out, and nope. Let me go and double check on goaltenders before continuing. All right, there's only one goaltender listed as confirmed on Daily Faceoff, and that's Rask for Boston. So Halak, who played today, will back him up. 8-2-2 record, 1.98 goals against, 939 save percentage. Jaro Halak's having a decent season. Rask, 4-4-2, 2.8 goals against, 909 save percentage. Rask against Montreal, probably Price, because Niemi started today. Niemi's 4-2-1 now. 3.61 goals against, 893 save percentage. Carey Price, 7-5-4 record, 3.17 goals against, 895 save percentage. So I would expect Price to go in, and would I be surprised if he got a shutout? Not really. I don't like it. I don't. And I want to be an optimist when Boston plays Montreal, but while things were good last year, I just kind of expect it to go back. In their last 10, Boston's 5-3-2. They're 4th in the Atlantic. They have a road record of 4-4-4. Amazing. Montreal's 4-3-3 in their last 10, so they've really got to pick it up. They're 5th in the Atlantic, and at home they're 6-3-2. So being at home against Boston could very well be the cure for what has been ailing them lately. But that's why they play the games, right? Next up, somebody has to win this game, and it's a befuddlement to me as to who it's going to be. So I'll take LA. Vancouver going through California is usually a misadventure. And last night or 2 nights ago in Anaheim, not a great night for them. Tonight in San Jose, not a great night for them. Now they get to go to LA. Now LA has been underachieving this year, but there have been some signs of life, more so than for the 8-loss-in-a-row team of the Canucks. That being said, once a losing streak hits 8, you kind of expect it to turn around. The Canucks are 10-13-2, LA 7-13-1, and both teams likely wanting a do-over on their first 20-some games of the season. Scoring-wise, on Vancouver, nothing's changed since this morning. Horvat's got 11 goals and 10 assists. Pettersson, 12 goals, 7 assists. Now he's got 19 points in 19 games. 12 goals in 19 games. His running away with the Calder is kind of getting put on hold. There are a number of rookies now that are kind of getting in that conversation. And there's a reason why I haven't done a rookie video yet. Because honestly, until it's about halfway through the season, it's just too early to speculate. And there's too many people that are going to argue about rookies in their lineup. And I want to wait till midseason before we start that argument. Goldobin, 4 goals, 11 assists. Eriksson, 4 goals, 8 assists. Vertanen, 8 goals, 3 assists. Besser, 4 goals, 7 assists. Hutton, 4 goals, 6 assists. And Granlund with 4 goals and 6 assists. And the argument basically goes that every fan base will believe that the rookies that they have, the prospects they have, are going to be excellent NHLers. All of them. And you know what? They could be right. But there's going to be some that are wrong, and then it always leads into an argument of ours are better than yours, and whatever. On the LA side of things, Kovalchuk, 5 goals, 9 assists. He still leads the team in scoring. 14 points in 21 games. 5 goals in 21 games. These are not numbers that I think LA had in mind when they picked him up. However, he's still their leading scorer. Toffoli's next at 5 goals, 7 assists. Doughty, 1 goal, 11 assists. Carter, 4 goals, 6 assists. Kopitar, 6 goals, 3 assists. Iafallo, 4 goals, 5 assists. Brown, 3 goals, 4 assists. He's slowly climbing the chart. And Martinez, 1 goal, 6 assists for him. Goaltenders. Markstrom likely playing tomorrow. He got the rest tonight. 7-8-2 record. 3.42 goals against, 896 save percentage. Bachman, he's back in the American League. 0-1 record. 6.00 goals against, 793 save percentage. Nilsson's back. He played tonight. He now has a 3-4 record. 2.86 goals against, 902 save percentage. So Vancouver's goaltending, sadly, is starting to turn into what I had said before the season it was going to be. I'm not happy about it. In the LA net, Campbell still hurt. 5-7 record, 2.33 goals against, 923 save percentage. Budaj, 0-1 record, 5.02 goals against, 818 save percentage. Quick, still hurt. 0-3-1 record, 4.55 goals against, 845 save percentage. I would give Peterson another start. Why not? 2-2 record, 2.75 goals against, 921 save percentage. Vancouver in their last 10 is 1-7-2. Ick. And that one win, it's over Boston, because of course it is. They're now 6th in the Pacific. So any memories of them being first? Yeah, those are dead and gone. That's finished. They're 5-9-2 on the road. Isn't that sexy? The LA Kings are 4-6 in their last 10. They're 8th in the Pacific, and they're 4-7-1 at home. But remember, they've got 8 points in their last 10 games. Vancouver has 4. So LA's gaining ground on Vancouver because Vancouver's been that bad for that long. Yeah, 7 regulation losses in a row. So it's been a rough go for Vancouver, which is understating it. And we'll see if that continues tomorrow with a game where somebody has to win. Has to. Next up, Dallas. Dallas Stars 12-9-2 coming off of a emotional win over Ottawa, a game that I think they made difficult on themselves. But Ottawa's had incredible comebacks all year, so not trying to cast shade on them. They're in against the 12-6-4 Colorado Avalanche. And I got to be honest, I don't like this matchup for Dallas at all. When you look at the teams, honestly, Colorado has some impressive numbers, and I'm scared with Bishop not in net. What are they going to do? Again, because we don't have confirmation of starting goalies, does Hudobin go in again? Because Hudobin did not look great tonight. All right, Sagan leads Dallas in scoring, 7 goals, 15 assists, followed by Radulov, 8 goals, 10 assists. Ben has 8 goals, 10 assists. Spezza, 4 goals, 10 assists. Shore, 5 goals, 8 assists. Klingberg, 5 goals, 8 assists. Heiskanen, 4 goals, 6 assists. Lindell, 3 goals, 7 assists. On the Colorado side of things, Rantanen has 9 goals, 27 assists. McKinnon, 14 goals, 19 assists. Landeskog, 14 goals, 11 assists. Barry, 3 goals, 17 assists. Kerfoot, 4 goals, 13 assists. Soderberg, 7 goals, 8 assists. Wilson, 6 goals, 3 assists. And Gerard makes the board with 1 goal and 8 assists for the Colorado Avalanche. Goaltenders, probably Hudobin. 4-4-1 record, 3.07 goals against, 904 save percentage. I would think he'll start every game till Bishop gets back. Bishop, 8-5-1 record, 2.33 goals against, 922 save percentage. They could go with Bow. They could go with Landon Bow. No goals against, 1,000 save percentage in his one appearance. They could go with him as the starter. Absolutely. On the Dallas side of things, Grubauer, 5-1-2 record, 3.07 goals against, 907 save percentage now after tonight's start. Varlamov likely gets to start against Dallas, 7-5-2 record, 2.37 goals against, and a 925 save percentage. Over their last 10, Dallas is 4-4-2. They're 5th in the Central. On the road, they're a sad 4-6-1. Got to turn that road record around. And they're in Colorado. Colorado's 5-3-2. They're 3rd in the Central at home. They are an impressive 4-2-2. And Colorado last year was excellent at home. And this year, it's kind of turning out that way as well. Yes, they've lost a couple in overtime and shootout kind of things. But, 4-2-2 I'll take. 4-6-1 makes me nervous as a Dallas fan. And they do. They make me nervous. If it comes down to goaltending, it's going to end up going to Colorado. If it comes down to top line's impressiveness, it's going to go to Colorado. And if it's going to go to depth on the blue line, as much as I like guys like Fedun and Bayreuther and the storyline they're writing, it's going to go to Colorado. So, fingers crossed as a Dallas fan, but I'm not necessarily betting on it. Next up, Philly. The Flyers, coming off of a big win today, get to go into Toronto. Toronto's coming off of a loss against Columbus. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Philadelphia, 10-10-2. Toronto, 15-8-0. So Philly trying to get the record to 11-10-2 with a win and start pushing towards the playoffs. The Metro, I believe there's 7 points separating first from 8th. It's that time of year again when we start talking about how tight the Central is. We did it last year too, and then by the end of the year, things were spread out quite a bit, but early on, not so much. Claude Giroux leads Philly in scoring with 8 goals and 20 assists. I thought it was funny today. Mike Milbury said he didn't understand Philly's struggles based on anything but goaltending because they've got a great center in Claude Giroux, and I thought, aha, there you go. Couturier, 10 goals, 8 assists, and the scoring that we've seen from Philadelphia lately, a lot of it is directly attributable to Couturier. And I still say, even though I know Giroux gets all the points, I really think Couturier is the one that gets this team going. Couturier is the one that decides if they're doing well or not. Voracek, 5 goals, 12 assists. Konechny, 6 goals, 8 assists. Coming off that Gordie Howe hat trick. Let's see if he can get another one. Simmons, 9 goals, 3 assists. Gostisbehere, 3 goals, 8 assists. You know what happens is, I know it's Gostisbehere, right? And then I see it on the board, and my brain goes, that's not enough letters for what's on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and make your mouth say something else, because that doesn't say Gostisbehere. So that's not what comes out. 3 goals, 8 assists for him. Lindblom, 4 goals, 6 assists for him. And Patrick is still on the board with 5 goals, 4 assists. On the Toronto side of things, Mitch Marner, 6 goals, 22 assists. Tavares, 14 goals, 12 assists. Morgan Riley, 9 goals, 7 assists. And he was mad at himself over a goal that he kind of caused against Toronto tonight. He'll bounce back, though. Kapanen, 10 goals, 7 assists. Matthews, 10 goals, 6 assists. Kadri, 7 goals, 8 assists. Marlowe, 4 goals and 8 assists. And hey, look, it's Ron Hainsey on the board at 3 goals and 8 assists. 37 years of age and probably playing some of the best hockey of his career right now. Goaltenders, I would expect Pickard again. He had the shutout. I would expect him to play again tomorrow. Neuwirth has an 0-1 record, 6.00 goals against, 727 save percentage. Still, it's an unknown injury with him. Pickard now has a 4-1-2 record, 3.59 goals against, 878 save percentage. Hey, those are bad, but you know what? He had an 852 a few days ago. Now it's an 878. He's cruising to a 900 save percentage. Lyon, 1 loss, 12.00 goals against, 667 save percentage. I don't think he sees the net again. Elliott's out for a couple weeks. I think it's Pickard's net. Elliott, 6-7, 2.59 goals against, 911 save percentage. Sparks likely starts tomorrow because it's back-to-back. 3-1 record, 3.2 goals against, 906 save percentage. I swear I heard on Sportsnet that they'd said Sparks was starting tomorrow, but it hasn't been confirmed on Daily Faceoff, and they're pretty good about updating it. But yeah, I still think it'll be Sparks. Anderson, 12-7 record, 2.24 goals against, 931 save percentage. With a 5-3-2 record in their last 10. Philadelphia 6th in the Metro Division. They are 5-4-1 on the road. Toronto 7-3 in their last 10. They're 3rd in the Atlantic now because some beast has passed them for second place. And their home record is 6-5. So their home record, which was bad, is getting better. We'll see if that continues with them against Philadelphia. Because again, while their road record was too high and 9-3 looks more reasonable than 9-1. Just one of those things. I would expect their home record to get a little better too, because they were a pretty solid team. All right. Next up, San Jose. How about those Sharks, huh? 12-7-4 and starting to look like a contender, and Erik Karlsson's starting to look like he's on a bit of a roll, which is good news for San Jose as well. But Vegas. Is Vegas actually ready to start rolling? Tomorrow is going to tell us a lot as to whether Vegas is actually ready to start rolling off of that win today against Calgary, or if this is just going to be a one-up, one-down situation, which they've been putting their fans through for the last month. Leading the San Jose Sharks in scoring is Brent Burns, 3 goals, 21 assists, followed by Couture, 8 goals, 14 assists. Meyer, 13 goals, 9 assists. Pavelski, 13 goals, 4 assists. Hurdle, 5 goals, 12 assists. Kane, 7 goals, 8 assists. Erik Karlsson, 2 goals, 13 assists. LeBanc, 3 goals, 12 assists. So Karlsson's 15 points. That's getting more in line with where we'd expected things to be, and I would expect that to get better. Bad news for Vegas that Karlsson's coming in feeling pretty good and finally starting to put the puck in the net. On the Vegas side of things, Marchessault still leads them in scoring with 10 goals and 9 assists, followed by Karlsson, 5 goals, 12 assists. And interestingly, and I know people don't look at the plus-minus stat much, but Karlsson's a -2. And last year, I think he had the best plus-minus of any forward in the league. And this year, it's not there. So, it is one area in which I think George McPhee was smart to give him a 1-year deal and see whether or not he could replicate what he did last year. Tuck, 6 goals and 9 assists. That's only in 16 games as well. Eakin, 8 goals and 5 assists. Smith, 4 goals, 9 assists. Theodore, 2 goals, 9 assists. Miller, 1 goal, 9 assists. And look at that. Max Pacioretty, 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 points. Nah, it's not what you expect at the start of the year, but it's a heck of a lot better than what he was at 7 or 8 games ago. Goaltenders, I expect Jones to be in here. Dell started today. 3-2-2 record, 2.12 goals against, 927 for Dell, and a shutout against the Canucks. Jones is 9-5-2, 3.01 goals against, 891 save percentage. You can count on almost 3 goals a game or more from Jones, depending on who they're against. But you can also count on wins from Martin Jones. So it's 6 in one and a half dozen in the other, right? Fleury started tonight, got the shutout. You would expect him to get the night off, but then you look at the stats of the backup and you think, maybe not. Fleury's 11-8-1, 2.45 goals against, 907 save percentage now. And I think he'll probably start tomorrow because Subban's 0-4, 4.02 goals against, 859 save percentage. If they put Subban in against San Jose, that could turn really, really ugly really, really fast. Because San Jose is capable of putting up a bunch of goals. San Jose's 6-3-1 in their last 10. They're first in the Pacific. On the road, they're 4-4-2. Vegas is 5-5 in their last 10. Like I said, 1 up, 1 down. They're 4th in the Pacific. That's right. They are 4th in the Pacific. They are ahead of every other team in the Pacific except Anaheim, San Jose, and Calgary. Vegas is not out of this because they're in the Pacific. They're 6-3-1 at home. So they haven't played as many games at home as they have on the road. They have a solid home record. Absolutely. Vegas, as much as their record makes us think, well, they're done, because it's the Pacific Division, they're really not. And when I looked at yesterday at the American Thanksgiving standings and saw Anaheim in there, I went, wow, this really is bad in the Pacific. And this is a situation that you could see Vegas take advantage of. We'll see. We'll find out. Next up, Winnipeg. Boy, have they looked human the last couple of games, huh? 12-7-2 record. I really thought coming out of Vancouver, I was like, yep, they're playing great. They're playing some of the best hockey in the league. And I think they're the best team in the league right now. And then the last couple of games, they just have not had a consistent game for the whole 60 minutes. It's just killing them. They're in against St. Louis. St. Louis is 8-10-3. And of course, St. Louis is coming off of a win against Nashville. So St. Louis should feel good about themselves. They've got to start making hay at home because they're going to have a heavy road record pretty quick here. And their record isn't great to start with. Leading the scoring side of things for Winnipeg is Wheeler with 3 goals, 22 assists. Scheifele, 11 goals, 12 assists. Kyle Connor, 10 goals, 10 assists. Laine, 14 goals, 3 assists. Bufflin, 2 goals, 14 assists. Yeah, Laine, 14 goals and 3 assists. That's insane, right? Ehlers, 5 goals, 5 assists. Little, 4 goals, 6 assists. And Morrissey is on the board with 1 goal and 8 assists. On St. Louis's scoring side, O'Reilly, 11 goals, 14 assists, so he started producing again. Tarasenko, 6 goals, 11 assists. Shen, 5 goals, 8 assists. Perron, 5 goals, 6 assists. Bozak, 3 goals, 8 assists. Steen, 5 goals, 5 assists. Pietrangelo, 4 goals and 5 assists to get on the board. And Schwartz, 2 goals and 7 assists. If Pietrangelo is going to start producing, if they could get Perron into it, if they can get everybody going, there's a lot of ifs in there, though. Tons of ifs. For St. Louis to really, truly get back into the race, there's too many ifs in there. I would expect Brossoit to play because Hellebuck played today. Brossoit's 3-1-1 with a 1.65 goals against, 951 save percentage. Hellebuck's numbers aren't fantastic. 9-6-1 record, 2.91 goals against, 910 save percentage. And even coming out of the game where they beat Vancouver 6-3, I said I thought he looked shaky. I would expect Johnson tomorrow, although Allen coming off of that big win, you might be tempted to play him again. Johnson's 2-4 with a 2.41 goals against, 916 save percentage. Allen is 6-6-3 now with a 3.22 goals against and an 898 save percentage. That save percentage has come up a lot. So maybe you play Allen to go with the hot hand. Over their last 10, Winnipeg is now 5-4-1. They're 4th in the Central. Yeah, 4th. And their road record is now 4-5. This road trip is a big part of the reason why they've started falling. You've got to be able to play on the road in the NHL. You've got to be able to do that. If you're going to be a top seed, you have to have a good road record. St. Louis is 4-6 in their last 10. They're still 7th in the Central. Their home record is 6-6-1. So for them, they've played 21 games, and 13 of them have been at home. And they do not have a great home record. It's a big part of the reason why they're fighting for their lives so early in the season. But what I have to do now is change boards. Okie dokie. Next up, this is actually the morning game for us, is Washington and the Rangers. The Capitals 12-7-3. They are getting there. And they're against the New York Rangers, who are 12-9-2, coming off of a big loss today against Philadelphia, or against the Flyers. And for the Caps, it was a big win over the red-hot Red Wings. Now they get to go on the road to New York. The New York Rangers have won 7 in a row at home. And if they're going to show that they're still moving their way up, and what happened today in Philly was just one of those things that happens when you're in the midst of a hot streak. You'll have those games where you're not 100%. They have to slow down the Capitals. Leading scorer for the Capitals, Ovechkin, 16 goals and 10 assists. He has not given up on another Rocket Richard trophy. Backstrom, 6 goals, 19 assists. Carlson, 5 goals and 17 assists. Kuznetsov, 6 goals, 15 assists. Oshie, 9 goals, 5 assists. Vrana, 5 goals, 7 assists. Eller, 4 goals, 8 assists. And Connolly with 3 goals, 8 assists. Remember, the Capitals have got hot while Kuznetsov is out. And yes, I will say this for Capitals fans who've been saying it, Tom Wilson is a huge part of it. This is why I get so upset at Tom Wilson when he does something stupid like what he did with Sundqvist, because he's better than that. That's the only reason I get mad. It's sort of like when a teacher gets mad at you at school because they expect more out of you. You're not that bonehead in the corner that's eating paste. You're actually a pretty good student, but you do something stupid. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Wilson. He's not the kid in the corner eating paste. You guys can quote me on that. Kreider, 12 goals and 8 assists, leading the New York Rangers in scoring. He's an inspirational story if you pay attention to the blood clot stuff and everything he was dealing with last year and where he's at right now. Zibanejad, 7 goals, 12 assists. Hayes, 5 goals, 9 assists. Pionk, 4 goals, 10 assists. Howden, 4 goals, 8 assists. Vesey, 7 goals and 4 assists. Zuccarello, 3 goals, 7 assists. Buchnevich, 5 goals and 4 assists for the New York Rangers. Goaltenders, I would expect Copley here because Holtby played today. Copley's 4-2-1 with a 3.07 goals against, 899 save percentage. Holtby 8-5-2, 2.86 goals against, 913 save percentage. And I expect Georgiev because Lundqvist played today, so that could be fun seeing both backups. Georgiev's 4-2 with a 2.94 goals against, 911 save percentage. Lundqvist 8-7-2 with a 2.63 goals against, sorry about that, and a 920 save percentage. So Not a lot to pick now between the two goalies because Georgiev's really picked it up since that first game that he didn't look great. Didn't look great at all. And over their last 10, they've got similar records. Washington 7-3. They're second in the Metro. On the road, they're 5-4-1. The last 10 for the Rangers, they're 7-2-1. They're third in the Metro. Their home record, 9-3. So with those 7 wins in a row, they're now 9-3 at home. It's an intimidating place to go, Madison Square Garden. Once again, it's been a while since it was an intimidating place to go. But the Rangers are making it that way. And they can really make a statement if they can come out tomorrow and manage to knock off the Capitals in a matinee affair. So, be a very interesting game to watch. Looking forward to it. Next up, Buffalo. Wow, 15-6-2. Where does this stop? I'm not lying, and I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but at some point, the wins have to stop at least for a game or two, right? They're in against Detroit, 10-2. Do not count up the Detroit Red Wings. The Wings lost today. Absolutely. They started out like a ball of fire against the Capitals, and then the Caps came back and managed to win it. But this is in Detroit, and in Detroit, they've been pretty good. The leading scorer for Buffalo is Jack Eichel, 5 goals, 21 assists. They talked today on Hockey Central about who the best passer is in the league, and of course, whether it was Marner or they had a few options up there, but what surprised me was Eichel wasn't up there. And I think Eichel should be in that conversation as one of the best passers in the league. Skinner, 17 goals and 8 assists. Of course, to become a really good passer in the league, you have to have a sniper to pass to. And Skinner just knows where to stand and gets ready for the puck and puts it home. Pominville, 9 goals, 9 assists. Reinhart, yeah, it's a T. I've got to change that. All right. Reinhart, 3 goals, 14 assists for him. Reinhart's had an excellent run during this winning streak as well. It's not just one line getting it done. The one line gets all the attention, but it's not just them. Okposo, 5 goals, 9 assists. Sherry, 6 goals, 6 assists. Dahlin, 2 goals, 10 assists. And Ristolainen with 2 goals and 10 assists to get on the board. On the Detroit side, Larkin still the leader with 8 goals and 11 assists. Nyquist, 2 goals, 14 assists. Athanasiou now has 10 goals and 5 assists. Bertuzzi, 6 goals, 6 assists. Nielsen, 12 assists. Still looking for that first goal. Cholowski, 3 goals, 7 assists. Mantha, 6 goals, 3 assists. And Green on the board with 1 goal and 8 assists. Goaltenders, I expect Ullmark because Hutton started today. I'm calling on every backup because there's so many back-to-back games, right? So normally you would play one goaltender one day and the other goaltender the other. Normally that's what would happen. Hutton has an 11-6-1 record, 2.53 goals against, 918 save percentage. Ullmark, 4-0-1 record, 2.65 goals against, 922 save percentage. Howard should start tomorrow as Bernier started today. Howard, 7-6-2. 2.6 goals against, 924 save percentage. Bernier, 3-4 record now with a 3.54 goals against and an 897 save percentage. In their last 10, Buffalo's 9-1. And they're second in the Atlantic. They're ahead of Toronto. It happened. They're ahead of Toronto. That is really, really weird. On the road, they're 7-4-1. That's a pretty solid record for Buffalo. Just amazing. On the Detroit side of things, they're 7-3 in their last 10, but they're still 6th in the Atlantic. So one problem with that really slow start is it makes it really, really hard for them to catch up. And they're 6-4-1 at home. So this is a game that it's a tough call because, again, Detroit has been playing really, really well. And they lost a game in Washington that, honestly, Washington has been playing pretty well themselves. This is a chance for Detroit to prove themselves and kind of knock Buffalo off of a high horse. I don't know what ends up happening, but it'll be a fun one to watch, is my guess anyways. And, I always try to find a game to watch, and very often I'll be surprised by the game I end up watching. Next up, Chicago, 8-10-5. They're in against the 8-9-3 Florida Panthers. This is feeling like a game somebody has to win. Remember when Florida was on a 5-game winning streak? Neither do they. Chicago comes in with a chance to potentially knock off Florida and make things even more miserable. Leading scorer for Chicago is Kane. 12 goals, 13 assists for him. Taves is next with 11 goals and 9 assists. DeBrincat, 9 goals, 8 assists. Saad, 7 goals, 4 assists. Anisimov, 3 goals, 8 assists. Seabrook, 3 goals, 7 assists. Schmaltz, 2 goals, 8 assists. Yoki Haru still on the board with 10 assists and looking for that first NHL goal. On the Florida side of things, Hoffman's point streak ended tonight. He will try to start a new one tomorrow. 10 goals and 10 assists for him. Dadonov, 9 goals, 10 assists. Yandel, right in the scoring race for this team. 4 goals, 15 assists. Barkov, 7 goals, 11 assists. Huberdeau, 4 goals, 13 assists. Trocheck, 3 goals, 11 assists. Bjugstad, 4 goals, 5 assists. And Mike Matheson rounds things out with 1 goal and 8 assists. Goaltenders, I expect Crawford. I know, he started tonight. I expect Crawford. 5-8-1 record, 2.68 goals against, 914 save percentage. Since I expect Crawford, it'll be Ward. Ward hasn't started in a while. He has a 3-2-4 record, 3.81 goals against, 891 save percentage. Luongo being hurt tonight is very concerning. He has a 4-3 record, 3.07 goals against, 902 save percentage. I expect Reimer to be playing tomorrow, and I expect Hutchinson to be called up by the time I have this posted, if he hasn't been already. Reimer, 3-5-1, 3.27 goals against, 896 save percentage. Hutchinson, 1-1-2 record, 4.17 goals against, and an 839 save percentage. Would likely be the backup. This is very concerning. The Chicago Blackhawks are 2-6-2 in their last 10. They're 6th in the Central. And the only thing keeping them out of 7th is the fact they're in the same division as St. Louis. On the road, they're 3-7-2. It has been a really, really rough turn on the road. They're decent at home. They really are. The Blackhawks are decent at home, but on the road, it's been different. St. Louis, or Florida's somehow still 6-4 in their last 10, but they're 8th in the Atlantic. And their playoff hopes are, in my eyes, they're basically done. The Atlantic is so strong. Their hope of breaking through, it's so slim now. They're 3-3-1 at home. They've only played 7 at home. But again, I don't see how Florida does this. I really, really don't. I just figure it out in my head, and I'm thinking, yeah, Florida's already somehow done, which is too bad. And for Chicago, I'm not going to say done, but yeah, they're pretty close too. So this, again, is one of those games, much like Vancouver, LA. Somebody's got to win this. And it's a matter of who wants it more. Next up, Carolina. Team is turning it around. Carolina Hurricanes. They've won a few now. Let's see if they can keep it going. They're 11-8-3. They're in against the New York Islanders, who are 11-8-2. Sebastian Aho leads them in scoring. Those Carolina Hurricanes with 7 goals and 18 assists. Teravainen, 5 goals, 13 assists. Ferland, 11 goals, 4 assists. Williams, 3 goals, 10 assists. Svechnikov now has 5 goals and 6 assists. Another example of why I don't like grading rookies too early on, because Svechnikov started putting up points. Stahl, 5 goals, 6 assists. Wallmark, 1 goal, 8 assists. And Falk is still on the board with 1 goal and 7 assists. On the Islanders side of things, Bailey, 6 goals, 13 assists. Barzal, 3 goals, 16 assists. Nelson, 9 goals, 7 assists. And Lee, 7 goals and 9 assists. Filppula, 5 goals, 9 assists. 14 points for Filppula is pretty decent. Eberle, 6 goals, 5 assists. Cizikas, 5 goals, 4 assists. And Mayfield is now on the board with 3 goals and 6 assists. Scott Mayfield, welcome to the board. In net, I'd go with McElhinney. Oh, man, would I ever. Although they'll probably go with Darling. Mrazek has numbers of 3-3-2, 2.75 goals against, 880 save percentage. Darling, 2-3-1 record, 2.99 goals against, 903 save percentage. McElhinney is 6-2. 6 wins, 2 losses. 2.25 goals against, 919 save percentage. He has looked fantastic lately. And in goal for the Islanders, I expect Leonard. Leonard, 4-5-1 record, 2.99 goals against, 906 save percentage. Greiss, 7-3-1 record, 2.52 goals against, 926 save percentage for Greiss. When you look at their last 10, they're similar. The Carolina Hurricanes, 5-3-2 in their last 10. They're 4th in the Metro. On the road, they're 4-4-1. And the Islanders are 1 point behind them in the Metro. They're 5th. 5-4-1 in their last 10. And at home, they're 5-2-2. So the Islanders have been excellent at home. And the Hurricanes have the same number of wins and losses on the road and at home. So on the road. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this one. I'm leaning towards the Islanders. But, Carolina's kind of got another streak going. It's fun to see all these big winning streaks that come up out of nowhere. That's a team you just don't expect. They usually go back to just kind of pedestrian numbers, but it's fun to see these winning streaks when they take place. And I'm thinking of last year with Colorado, Pittsburgh. Not really Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was more of just a climb. It was like 15 wins in 20 games or whatever it was. Calgary had that big winning streak. Philadelphia had the losing streak, then the winning streak. A lot of weirdness going on there. But yeah, so I'm anxious to see what happens in that one and whether or not Carolina is the latest team to go streaking in the NHL. Bringing back the 70s, going streaking. Next up, and finally, last but not least, the Columbus Blue Jackets, 13-7-2. And they're in against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 8-5 now with that overtime loss to the Boston Bruins. But they'll take that point. Absolutely. Pittsburgh, they're this sleeping dog. They're this proverbial carnivore in weight that's just waiting for a chance to pounce on the league. And thankfully, they didn't pounce on Boston too much tonight. But the night before, of course, against Dallas, it was a different story. So, for Columbus, this is a chance to kind of put the boots to a team that's knocked them out of the playoffs once or twice in Pittsburgh. Leading the way for Columbus in scoring is Atkinson with 14 goals and 9 assists, followed by Panarin, 5 goals, 18 assists, Dubois, 10 goals, 9 assists, Foligno, 6 goals, 7 assists, Werenski, 4 goals, 9 assists, Wenberg, 1 goal, 12 assists, Anderson now has 10 goals. Yeah, Josh Anderson, 10 goals and 2 assists for him, and Duclair, 8 goals and 4 assists for the Columbus Blue Jackets. On the Pittsburgh side of things, Malkin, 9 goals, 20 assists, Kessel, 10 goals, 16 assists, Crosby, 9 goals, 13 assists, Letang, 5 goals, 11 assists, Hornqvist, 9 goals, 6 assists, Gensel, 8 goals, 7 assists, Simone, 4 goals, 6 assists, and Alexiak, 4 goals, 5 assists. And if Pittsburgh struggles to score tomorrow against Columbus, and Columbus comes out with a win, does Rutherford have more pressure to make another deal? Goaltenders, I would expect Korpisalo because Bobrovsky started today. Korpisalo's 5-0-2 with a 3.68 goals against, 885 save percentage. Bobrovsky now has a plus record, 8 wins and 7 losses, 2.59 goals against, 917 save percentage. So his days of having an 882 save percentage and just a bad start, those are done. And Columbus is better as a result. On the goaltending front, I would expect a Smith tomorrow night for Pittsburgh. Murray is, of course, on long-term injured reserve. 4-5-1 record, 4.08 goals against, 877 save percentage. Jari, 1 overtime loss for him, 1.94 goals against, 946 save percentage. Played well against Boston. It wasn't his fault. And DeSmith, 4-3-3 record, 2.39 goals against, 924 save percentage. Over their last 10, Columbus is 6-2-2. They're first in the Metro, of course. On the road, they're 7-3-1. That road record is a big part of the reason why they're in first. Absolutely. A good road record, Chicago, can turn your whole season around. Pittsburgh, 2-6-2 in their last 10. They're 8th in the Metro. And at home, they're 4-5-1. So on no level does Pittsburgh put up good numbers right now, but everybody expects them to be resurrected soon and for them to just become Pittsburgh. We all expect it, and it's a matter of when. Does it start tomorrow? We thought maybe it had started the previous game. Maybe it did. They didn't lose in regulation tonight. Maybe this is, again, this is the thought process of people who've watched Pittsburgh go through this movie more than once. That when you just count them down and you go, they're done, they rise up. Is that going to happen again? Is it going to start tomorrow? Who knows? Either way, it's a big test for Columbus. If they can win another one tomorrow and they can win it on the road, they can really start thinking about just having a 2-horse race between themselves and Washington as soon as the end of this month. Unless the Rangers can manage to maintain this hot streak, it could be Columbus and Washington who are the cream of the crop in that division soon. But, again, the Metro is really hard to call. They're very close together. And anytime that we see a chance for things to get spread out, normally we'll see things fall back so that they get closer together. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing right through you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.